I got this urge to make a video. And usually I think, what would I like to speak about? What is this video about? And this time, I really don't know. And in fact, as I was sitting with this, I thought, what would happen if I just show up and see what I end up saying? So here I am, and that's what I'm doing without a plan. What if you lived your life like that? What if you didn't have to have a direction or a goal for even just a day? What would you do? What would that be like? What if you could just be with everything that is in this moment, and anything you'd like to create, know that you can do that in this moment and be that in this moment? I get to talk with so many amazing people every day and have these conversations that some of my friends say, wow, no, I never have I never have conversations like this. I haven't thought this much in ages. That to me is unreal, because I have these conversations every single day about what it is we desire to create, what stops us from creating that. We're playing this amazing game in life, this beautiful, amazing game. We're working magic every day. We are creating exactly what we're asking for. And the really funny thing is that when we point to something in our lives and say, this is not what I want, this is not acceptable, it's exactly what we're creating, because that's how we actualize. That's how we manifest. There's a part of us that loves that thing we hate. How fascinating, how brilliant that is. How beautiful that is. When I look at it that way, I think we have to be the most amazing creatures who've ever existed. So what is it that you would like to create and experience right now? Because guess what? You're doing it already. You're doing it already. You found me on this video, and whether it drives you nuts or it inspires you, that's exactly what you're asking for. I'm just a reflection of you. You're just a reflection of me. And when I really get that, I think how perfect my life is. I wouldn't change a thing. I don't need to change a thing to have everything I desire. And neither do you. And I can just show up, turn on a video, talk to someone, talk to no one, and see what happens. Something happens. Something is created every time we do anything at all. Let me see if there's a story. I think there's a story. Yes, there's a story. Okay, here. So I had a conversation with a woman earlier this week, and she reminded me of me a little bit, in that she belongs to this world of intuitives and empaths and spiritual entrepreneurs, and she also simultaneously feels resistance to it, because oftentimes it can seem like when we believe in this world that everything we see is ourselves and we're manifesting things all the time, it can be a little bit extreme. Like, oh my gosh, the moon is in this today and it means this. And I got home and the mailbox was empty and it's never empty, and that means this. And so everything is a sign. And she went for a run. She said, as I was running, my mind is kind of clear and these thoughts are coming. And she saw this pile of dog shit, and a butterfly came and landed on the dog shit. And she said, my first thought was that it means something, that it means, yeah, you're going through a lot in your life right now, but there's beauty in the shit, quite literally. And I thought, that's pretty funny. That's a really great metaphor, like very clear message from the universe if we believe in these things. She said, or maybe it's not a message from the universe at all. Maybe it's just a pile of dog shit and there's a butterfly landed on a pile of dog shit. And I said to her something that I've learned in my NLP training, which continually blows my mind, is that our brains are bombarded with, I think the number is 11 million bits of information every single second, constantly bombarded with information. And our brains can only process 132 bits of information. So what happens to the almost 11 million pieces of information that we can't process? Well, we delete things, we distort things, and we generalize. And how do we do that? We do that based on the filters in our heads, which are our experience of time, our memories, our beliefs, our values, our emotions, all the stuff in our unconscious mind. And so it has to go through all those filters. And what comes out? The only thing that comes out, what we use to, the internal representation that we use to create the meaning and the external representation of our world, is exactly what's inside of us. So in other words, everything that you see is you. Everything that you see is you in a crazy literal sense that's more true than I probably really normally am ever comfortable acknowledging. And so I said to her, yes, it's true. It was just a butterfly landing on a pile of dog shit, and you noticed it. And the fact that you noticed it, and you can only notice things inside yourself, it's your unconscious telling you that's a message for you. So yes, it's just a butterfly landing on a pile of dog shit, and yes, it's a message from the universe for you. Both, yes and yes. So what is happening in your life right now? That's a message from the universe, and what's that message for you? What is your unconscious, what is your higher wisdom trying to tell you? Sit with that question for a minute. Because undoubtedly when I ask myself that question, I get something good. And right now it's me stepping into this video and having nothing to say and finding that I actually do have something to say. And you can determine whether it was valuable or not.